Thanks for staying on the program. We can now get some updates on the fire from the Ghana National Fire Service. Prince Billy Anaglati is joined us over the telephone. Billy, you're welcome to the program.
Hello?
Billy, what's the state of the fire now?
Well, we are still on the fire ground. As we started yesterday we decided to use those excavators to ensure that we turn the debris over. That would have the cooling process of cooling before we suspended the excavators. We have resumed using the excavators to turn the debris over to totally cool the temperature. We keep saying that within this period, it is not about fire, it is about cooling the heat that is within the debris that have gathered within the fire point.
And I see, what are we doing about that now? Cooling the heat.
Yes, cool. What are we doing about what?
About cooling the heat now. Exactly what are we doing?
Please, let me get the question well.
Now, you said that it's no longer about the fire, it's about cooling the heat so we can prevent fresh sparks. Is that it?
Yes, exactly. And so that we can reduce the burning process. Now it is not a fire that we are having. We are having.
So the question I'm asking is, what are we doing about cooling the heat? How are we achieving that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That with the excavators that are bringing the thing up, we have our fire engines also there that are using water to cool the temperature of it. That is all that we are doing.
How long could this take, cooling the heat?
Or I believe by the close of today we will be able to finish everything.
Why couldn't we finish yesterday? Because I believe you said the same thing yesterday.
Yesterday we have to suspend the work because we ran out short of the protective equipment, briefing apparatus that we were using. And we decided to suspend the use of the excavators only to be on the ground and be using water to cool it, and also to ensure that it does not gather enough heat and oxygen that will also result into reignition. So our men were on the ground overnight, but just that we suspended the excavators that were turning the whole debris over.
You had to suspend the excavator, but you recall that you had also told us that the fire service didn't own the excavator. Why was it important that you suspend the use of the excavator?
Come again, I didn't get it.
I'm saying that the excavator, the use of the excavator does not belong to the Ghana National Fire Service. Why was it important that you suspended the use? You couldn't pay for it?
Well, we suspended the use of the excavator because those using the excavators, those moving the excavators to work with us, they were also not having a proper personal protective equipment. So we decided to wait till today when they are properly provided with effective personal protective equipment, then we can continue with the job. That was the reason why we suspended the use of the excavators yesterday.
What provisions have we made now, or has the Ghana National Fire Service made now with respect to that?
To the protection of the people working
Yes, the materials you ran out of yesterday.
Yeah, so for now we've gotten protective equipment to protect their respiratory organs. That is why they have resumed using those excavators for now.
I see. You also complained of lack of water. How is that working out today?
Hello?
I'm saying that you also complained of lack of water to be able to douse or cool the heat, like you have explained to us now. How is that working out today? Are you getting enough of it?
Well, if you recall that even during the firefighting, we were using private tankers to augment the water supply from our tankers. We are still having some of the private tankers assisting us, giving us water in doing this cooling. This one, because it's not even fire, we are not even under any pressure where water will be running short of water in doing what exactly that we are doing. So we are having uninterrupted water in doing what we are doing for now.
Very well. So the Ghana National Fire Service finds it really important that it protects itself in terms of having protective gears to be able to douse the flames and cool the heat. Now, earlier I had asked you that in doing this work, do you feel that the persons are in and around the area perhaps should be evacuated just for a while because of the chemicals that were in the building? What would you say now in terms of the kind of collaboration you've been having with the EPA, with the medical store management themselves, in helping the people in that area who might be inhaling all of this?
In fact, I'm finding it difficult to really understand the question. If you can reframe the question properly, I will be able to make
people who work around the fire scene are inhaling the smoke and whichever chemical that comes with it. My question is, how is the fire service working together with the EPA, the drugstore managers, to be able to determine what could be poisonous so that the people would be evacuated as quickly as possible?
Well, for now, we are concentrating on how we should be able to reduce the smoke.
But Billy, it's day 3. You have told us that right now there is no flame. We can assume that we are having white smoke because you are only cooling heat.
No,
and so,
no, it is not about that. You have white smoke when there is fire there and the fire is getting to be extinguished. You have white smoke.
But is that not the situation you have described to us? That now it is not about the fire. It is about you wanting to cool the heat. Or we still have flames.
It's about, I use the word, listen, I use the word that smoldering. Smoldering is just about having a heat contact with a combustible material.
Okay.
That you will not have oxygen. It takes 3 things to have fire. That is what we should understand. You need a combustible material, you need a heat source, and then you need oxygen that will give you fire. If you have a heat source, you have combustible material, and there is no oxygen, you don't get fire.
Great.
You only have smoldering. That is, there will be combustion going on, but then this combustion, because there is no oxygen for you to have the fire, it gives a lot of smoke. That is exactly the situation we have now. We don't have fire, we have only combustion. That is the smoldering effect. That is giving a lot of smoke, which means there are a lot of heat beneath the debris, together with some of the unburned products under there. But there is no oxygen there. You agree with me that oxygen will not have access under the debris that we have in there. It is this reason that if the system should have gather enough or adequate oxygen, then we will quickly have intermittent flame.
So
but
Billy,
we are there to ensure that it doesn't happen.
Indeed. So Billy, now let's tackle my question. The Ghana National Fire Service does some sort of preliminary investigations in cases like this. Am I right?
Yeah, you are asking if we have done some sort of preliminary investigation. That's your question.
That is standard. That's what you do.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Now the question now is, are you working together with the Environmental Protection Agency, the medical store managers, to be able to know the kind of drugs that could be there and which ones could poison the system, so the National Fire Service can recommend that perhaps persons in the area who can't afford to protect themselves in the form of using nose masks should move?
Well, actually, situation of this nature is claimed to be a disaster where several stakeholders are on the ground to contribute their quota in ensuring that the situation is resolved. And what you are saying, and I believe strongly that there might be mechanisms put on the ground to also determine the level of the poisonous the level of chemicals and their type and the extent of its effects on people that are within the vicinity, and the remedies that need to be implemented to that. I believe that mechanisms of that nature will still be on the ground. But personally, I might not be in a position to know all that probably you are asking for.
But
so,
Billy, tell me something.
That is why other stakeholders are also in there to play their role.
Fair enough. Tell me something though. Thus far, that is taking us 3 days, and perhaps we're not sure if everything could end today, and we're still spending a lot on. It would affect the budget for the service today, this quarter, won't it?
I didn't get it, please.
I'm saying that it's day 3 of trying to extinguish the same fire at the same location, which means that the Ghana National Fire Service will be spending a lot on this fire. In effect, I am imagining that it would affect the budget for the service this first quarter. Is that what you also see?
Well, as long as we are on the ground here, and like I said, that looking at the situation that we are having, here, it is not anything that anybody could be that much concerned in terms of we fighting a fire, reducing the fire to the level that it is, that we say we are using only water to ensure
Very
that
well.
we bring it below. It is also important, as you are saying, that there are people working within the area. We cannot leave it because the smoke is still coming. We want to catch the smoke from coming to protect other people that are working, so that they will be prevented from being infected with any poisonous gases that are emitting from this smoke. So we will continue to ensure that we stop the smoke from coming.
Is it consuming your resources?
Well, even if it is doing, it is all for Ghana. We are protecting.
But Billy, I am Ghanaian. I'm a taxpayer. I understand that this is for the country, but we want to know how we can help the service going forward. Will this consume your resources more than necessary, more than you had imagined for the first quarter of this year?
Well, when the situation on the ground determined that we should be on the ground for days to ensure that we have effective control of the thing, I think that is the best alternative anybody can do. So if we are on the ground for long, and that is the only effective way we can do it, then I think all of us should appreciate that.
So it will affect you?
Come again?
It will affect you?
Affect me?
Affects the service?
Affect the service because we are on the ground for long?
For long, in terms of logistics, materials, and the like?
Well, of course, we are using resources to fight this fire.
Great.
We are using
Billy,
resources.
Billy, thank you very much for your time. Prince Billy Anaglate is with the Ghana National Fire Service. Day 3, and Billy tells us that, well, very little is left now. It's just, all the service has to do now is to cool the heat to avoid fresh sparks of fire in the area, but investigations still continue. That'll be all for now. Thank you very much for your company. I'll see you again pretty shortly. I'm midday on news today. Good morning.